In this movie, we're going to go over the anatomy and functionality of Adobe Illustrator's perspective grid. The perspective grid can be found under View, Perspective Grid, Show Grid, or keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-I. This automatically launches a 2-point perspective grid. Under that same menu item, we can specify a 1-point perspective grid and a 3-point perspective grid. For this demonstration, we'll stick with the 2-point perspective grid. Coming over to our toolbar menu item, perspective grid, this launches the activation. It gives us a bunch of control points, and really this is sort of the functionality of how this grid works. So really quick, we have here a left plane, a right plane, and then our horizontal planes here in green. This key here is the ground level, which allows us to move our perspective grid and its entirety around on the artboard or over to another artboard. We have a horizon line that we can adjust to change our point of view, higher or lower. We have our vertical grid extent, which changes the height and scale. At the bottom, or here, we have our vanishing points on both sides, which we can change the perspective tighter or longer. At the bottom here, we have our grid plane controls. This allows us to move our grid along the perspective lines, so we don't have to really create a perfect cube. We have here our grid lines, or our cell size we can adjust, make them bigger or smaller by pulling this up and down. We can extend this out to make our planes larger or smaller. In the upper right corner, we have our grid plane selection widget. This allows us to select what plane we're working on. So here the blue specifies the left plane. We can click on the right side. The orange indicates the right plane, and the bottom green indicates the horizontal plane. If we click outside in the circle, we specify no planes, and we can just start to import shapes that are not applied to our grid. And that's pretty much what the anatomy of a grid is here in Adobe Illustrator.